Alright, so today I'm going to be talking about how to create a really simple window in C++. So before I start, I think it's worth saying that C++ is normally used, C and C++ are normally used to create console applications, so that's kind of why creating a window is going to be a little more painful than you might be used to if you use other languages like C Sharp, VB.NET, stuff like that. That's cool. You have to use the Win32 API, Windows.h header file, right? But I think that's enough talking, and just get straight into it. So first things first, really, if you're like me and you're a complete beginner, then you're probably making console applications all your life. So basically, just do yourself a favor, open up a quick console application like you normally do. We'll be creating a window from the console app. So you can see here I have me a quick console app. Just prints a simple message. It's not too late to switch to C Sharp. This is true. But yeah. Anyway, so we have that. Now what we're gonna do? We're gonna do something interesting. We're gonna include the Windows.h header file. So this is when we know we're gonna get serious. So let's get rid of all this. Now to create a window, we need to fill in a special structure, and that's the window class structure, right? And you know the drill. Create a simple structure, and now in this structure, really almost like really every single variable in the structure can really be a null, right? It can really be set equal to 0. So that's a nice thing. But there are two variables which can't be set equal to 0, and that is if I can find it, the class name, right? We can't set the class name to just null, right? We need to come up with a name. So I can't think of a creative name, so I'm just gonna say name for class. That's gonna be my class name. All right, but there's another thing with that we can't set the null, and that is the pointer to a window procedure, LPF in WinProc, right? We need to need to assign this to a function pointer, right? So a pointer to a function that's gonna be our window procedure. Now let's talk about what a window procedure is. A window procedure is basically a function, right, that does event handling. Like if you do C Sharps, VB.NET, stuff like that, you should know what an event handler is, like button1.click or underscore click, something like that, right? You know the event handling. So basically what happens is that we have a message pump. We're going to create that later. And basically when things happen to our app, Windows is going to tell, right, it's going to just send a message. Well, we're going to get a message from Windows. We're going to send it through the pump to our window procedure. And our window procedure is going to handle, like based on what the event actually is, going to handle and do things, right, appropriate for that event. So we need to point this to some function. Unfortunately, the boys at Microsoft, the guys at Microsoft, they came up with a default window procedure, window proc w, right? They came with a default window procedure, right? That is the most basic of basic handlings. So basically just does the minimize, maximize, close button, right? That's basically it. That is the most basic procedure. It's the default one. So we'll just set our window procedure pointer to this. It's important, don't add the parentheses here, don't do this, right? You'll see the error. You don't do this because we want this to be the pointer. I want to assign to the def window proc w pointer function pointer, not to the return value of the function. So that's good. So these are the two values that we need to have not null in our window class. So our window class is complete, right? We have all the information about the window that we need. Now we need to tell Windows, right? So we need to register the window class. We need to tell Windows that a new window is about to drop. It's going to be magnificent. So register class, okay, I should just type it in. Register class W, right? We're doing wide strings here, Unicode stuff, whatever. And pointer to our window class structure, right? So tell Windows new Windows about to drop, so that's good. Create the structure, told Windows that there's gonna be a window is gonna drop. Now we create the window. So to create the window, we're gonna use actually a function called create window w, right? Now in this function we need some arguments, right? So the first argument we need is the class name, right? So use the same name we registered our window class with. So name for class, I couldn't think of a better name. Now window name. Alright, so this is fun. Basically we just need to type in a name that'll be on our title bar, right, for the window. So let's think of a name. I'm gonna call it Hello World, right? It's gonna be Hello World on steroids, you know, classic Hello World example. But we're gonna go with Windows. DW style. So basically what we need really is just asking us for some window styles, and the window style you really need for the most basic stuff is just window style underscore overlapped window. This is the most basic stuff, most basic style you need. And now we ask for XY, right, the position of the top left corner of the window relative to our screen. So this is 0, 0, and you know, you get the point. So XY, if you can't really think of a number you want, really you can just do CW underscore use default for really all of these, right? If you really can't think of a number, if you have a number, then go ahead and use it. Like, I'm not stopping you, but this is just default values. So use default. Alright, you can just use this number if you can't think of one for X, Y, width, and height. Now handle to a window parent. Let's see here. Well, there's no parent window, so we're gonna set this to null, and we don't want any menu, so set that to null. In each instance, handle to an instance, we don't have that, set that to a null. LP parameter, we just set that to a null, and that is good. Alright, so we create the window. Now we need to show the window. Alright, so we need to show the window. Right, because we create the window doesn't mean it was going to be visible. We need to show the window explicitly. Let's see, show the window, handle to a window. Alright, so this handle to a window is going to come from our create window call. So we're going to just create a variable real quick. Handle to window, HWND is equal to this. Alright, and just plug that in. And now this is basically our style, if you will. So basically we're just going to set this to SW underscore show, right? There are a bunch of constants and stuff like this, like use default overlapped window, SW underscore show, right? So because of that, I highly encourage that you look at the documentation for all these functions, study it well, and so you can have a little fun with this. So see here, we structure, register, create window, show window. Now we need to do one more thing, and that is we need a message pump, right? So in a while loop, we're going to call a get message function, right? And before we do this, we need to define like a quick message structure variable, right? So basically put in the handle, no, not the handle, the pointer to that variable, and we don't need any handle to a window here. This is the handle to a window here is a little different from our handle to our window that we're creating. We want this to be null, right? So this gets all the messages. There's a specific function of this, and I highly suggest you check out the documentation on get message too. Really check out the documentation on all of these because it's going to be worth it. And we don't want any filters. We want to get all the messages, right? So while this returns just a non-zero number, we want to translate the message. We really don't need this. This is for keyboard and stuff. When we actually write our own window procedure, which we should do instead of using def window proc w, but we'll do that. We'll just put translate message here for good practice. Alright, so we translate the message. This is keyboard stuff. Now we need to dispatch the message. And what this dispatch message is gonna do is basically just gonna send our message to our window procedure for it to handle and do stuff with. So just do that. Translate message, dispatch message. Okay. So everything is there. We did everything. We set up the window class, talked about it, gave it the information, registered it with the operating system, created a window, showed the window, and created a message pump. And this message pump also helps as also functions to not let our console close, because you might know that if you do like a simple hello world program where cout hello world, you need to add like a system.pause in front of it, not system pause in front of it, right? So, because otherwise the thing will just open and close, right, the console. So this while loop also helps to keep the console window open, and our window that we just created, right, helps to keep that open too. So we did everything. Let's see if it works. So let's see. Look at that, a nice beautiful window. Hello world. So really nice window we got here. Obviously parameters, length, width, height, position you can adjust. And we need to actually, you see this window is actually has nothing, like almost no logic. So it can't even come up with its own cursor really. We need to specify that too. But for the most basic example, this works. And you can also see that the window isn't very well made, because if we change the size, if we make the size bigger, then the window doesn't know how to paint itself, or it isn't told to like paint the remaining area that we just created. So we need to add logic for that. But overall, very good for our first time using the Windows API, and good introduction. Windows API is a little different from C#. It's not too late to go back to C#. And I'll see you in the following videos where we do more cool things. So see you then.